So let me start with the first topic, how to conduct annual reviews. Let's talk about something that can either motivate your employees or completely miss the mark, the annual
912.
reviews. Now, one done right, an annual review is more than just a formality. It's your chance to keep your people happy, engaged, and focused. Why? Because at the core, we are all wired to want to succeed, and success doesn't happen in the dark. It needs feedback, right? When you give your employees honest, balanced feedback, what they are doing well and where they can grow, you are giving them direction. You are saying, I see you. I believe in your potential. That's powerful. But there is a flip side. A poorly designed review can do more harm than good. It can confuse, demotivate, or even drive good people away. That's why in this module, we are going to break down how to conduct a well-designed annual review, one that's clear, respectful, and genuinely helpful. So let's learn how to turn annual reviews into moments that matter. Let me start with a beautiful quote from Indira Gandhi. She said, my grandfather once told me that there are two kinds of people, those who do the work and those who take the credit. And then she said, and then he said, try to be in the first group, there's much less competition. That quote always makes me smile, but it also makes me think, because today's world, it is easy to get caught up in recognition, titles, likes, applause. But real impact, it comes from those who quietly show up, get things done, and keep everything moving, even if their names is not in lights. The truth is, our workplaces are powered by these people, the doers, the reliable ones, the ones who care more about results than recognition. And the beautiful thing, over time, people notice. May not always right away, but eventually the world catches up to the ones who consistently show up and deliver. So let's be in the first group, do our work, and lead by example. That's where the real value and the real legacy is built. Let's be honest, employee reviews can feel awkward, stressful, or even a little pointless if the process is not done right. But when you develop the process with care and intention, reviews can become one of the most powerful tools you have to strengthen your employees and your company. Why? Because reviews help employees see themselves, what they are doing well, what needs work, and most importantly, where they are heading. It's a moment of reflection, recognition, and redirection. But that moment only works if we prepare for it. So, how do we build a solid review process? First, put real thought into the evaluation. Ask yourself, what messages do I want this employee to walk away with? Don't rush it, because if it matters to you, it will matter to them. Next, set clear categories and define what you will evaluate. That set realistic benchmarks for each one. This is not guesswork. Do the research. And let's not forget about the space. Yes, Location matters. Find somewhere quiet, private, and comfortable. You are not doing performance reviews in a fishbowl or a cold meeting room with flickering lights. That environment sets the tone. Not just wing it and have an agenda. What did they do last year? What working right now? What are the goals for next year? And most importantly, what's the game plan to get there? And here's something critical. Don't wait a full year to give feedback. If someone's off track, they shouldn't have to wait 12 months to find out. That's why periodic reviews are essential. They help course correct in real time and show your people that you are invested in their growth. Of course, make sure all your paperwork is ready, job description, performance notes, past reviews. Be organized, be prepared. They shouldn't be traumatic for anyone. And here are a few tips. Be on time, respect their time, encourage self-reflection, let them share what they think, invite feedback, not just from you to them, but from them to you. And be real about negative feedback. You don't need to be harsh, but you do need to be honest. And finally, let them vent. Give them space to share what's on their mind. So when you build a thoughtful, human-centered review process, you are not just checking a box. You are building trust. You are building clarity. You are building a stronger team. Let's talk about something that makes or breaks the annual review process: benchmarks. If you want your reviews to be fair, meaningful, and actually helpful, then here's the truth. Employees need to know what's expected of them from the start. You cannot hold someone accountable to a standard they didn't even know existed. That's where benchmarks comes in. So what exactly is a benchmark? You may simply put is a baseline standard, a clear definition of what good performance looks like. It might be about the quality of work, the speed at which a task is done, the number of units completed, or even a mix of all of these. But here's the key: it's not enough to set benchmarks. You have to communicate them. And the sooner, the better. And ideally, during orientation of initial training. That's the perfect moment to say, here's the success looks like in this role. Of course, we know those early days are overwhelming. People are flooded with information. That's why we don't stop there. We reinforce those benchmarks regularly. We check in, we remind, we coach, because when employees clearly understand what's expected, they are far more likely to meet and even exceed those expectations. Don't leave benchmarks buried in a handbook or a forgotten slide deck. Make them visible, make them clear, and make them part of everyday conversation. That's how you build performance, confidence, and trust. So now that we know what a benchmark is and why it matters, let's talk about something just as important: getting everyone on board. Because it's one thing to set a benchmark, and another is to make sure is actually accepted and understood. Your company wants productivity. Your employees want fairness. The key is to strike a balance. Set the bar high enough to maintain performance standards, but not so high that people feel like they are set up to fail. When benchmarks are too aggressive, they don't inspire, they demoralize. That leads to stress, insecurity, and even dissatisfaction on the job. So, how do we create benchmarks that work for everyone? Simple, we involve them. One of the most effective ways is to form a benchmark committee. Bring together a mix of employee representatives and upper management. Why? Because when people have a voice in the process, they are more likely to buy. They understand the why behind the numbers. They feel heard. They are more motivated to meet and even exceed the goals. Just remember, benchmarks are not ceiling. They are just baseline. You want your people to hit them and then go past them. But to do that, they need to feel the target is fair, clear, and achievable. Agreement builds alignment, and the alignment builds results. Another thing to talk about is review meetings. Let's be real, meetings are everywhere. We have meetings about meeting, but here's the truth. Just because you are having a meeting doesn't mean it's effective. And for supervisors, an ineffective meeting is a missed opportunity. A good meeting is more than just talking. It's a relationship building tool. It's where you share your benchmarks, roll out policies, reinforce procedures, and just as importantly, recognize great work. Done right, meetings build clarity, trust, and motivation. Done wrong, they waste time and frustrate everyone in the room. So, how do you hold an effective meeting? First, have a clear purpose. Know why you are there and stick to it. An agenda is your best friend. It keeps you on track. It helps participants follow along, and it ensures nothing important is left out. Think of it as your meeting GPS. Next, invite the right people. If it's a sales update, don't pull in accounting people. Be respectful of your people's time. They will thank you for it. Third, keep it short. Long-winded meetings drains energy. Hit your key points. Leave room for clarity and wrap it up. Remember, people have work to do. Fourth, start and end on time. Time is a sign of respect. When you run over, people stop listening and start watching their clock. Also, minimize distractions, phones, laptops, side chatter. It all takes away from the message. Ask for focus and lead by example. That's very important. And finally, create a safe space for questions. Not everyone's going to raise their hand in front of the group. So leave a few minutes after the meeting for one-on-one chats. Sometimes the best conversation happens after the formal part ends. So don't just hold a meeting, host an experience that matters. one where people walk out informed, respected, and clear on what next. So after you have listened all the key points that I want to highlight it in the module in this topic, let me tell you a quick story about a new employee named Asula. She just got hired at a company called Preppy Bean Coffee, and she was thrilled. She heard it was a great place to work with strong values and a supportive culture. Asula joined the customer service department, the team that handles incoming orders and customer complaints. It can be a tough job, but what made the difference was her supervisor, Walter. Walter is known in the company as a standout leader. He doesn't just manage, he coaches. He makes it a point to regularly give his team feedback, both informally and through structured evaluations and annual reviews. What really sets Walter apart? He tells his employees both their strengths and their areas for improvement. Once something needs fixing, he doesn't just criticize, he offers solutions. And when necessary, he provides retraining. Because of this, Walter has earned the respect of his entire team. Asula, in particular, feels valued. She's received consistent constructive feedback, and Walter has even told her multiple times that he sees her as a real asset to the company. That kind of recognition makes a difference. As a result, Asula feels safe to speak up, ask questions, and raise concerns because she knows her voice will be heard. That's what a feedback culture looks like in action. So after you listen this story, I have a two question for you to think about it. The first question is, what has Walter done well to create a strong feedback culture in his team? Second question is, how does Asula experience demonstrate the impact of effective employee reviews? So think about it, these two questions. The first question, what has Walter done well to create a strong feedback culture in his team? Second question, how does Asula's experience demonstrate the impact of effective employee reviews? So think about it. You may want to write down some of the answer that you think it is right for these questions. So I want to give you my answer for these two questions. The first question, what has Walter done well to create a strong feedback culture in his team? For me, I think Walter gives regular feedback, not just during annual reviews. He balances recognition and constructive criticism. He offers solutions and support when improvement is needed, such as retraining. He creates an environment of psychological safety, allowing employees like Asula to ask questions, raise concern without fear. So that's the reason. These are the things that Walter done well to create a strong feedback culture in his team. This is the answer for the first question. So let me share with you my answer for the second question. How does Asula experience demonstrate the impact of effective employee reviews? For me, Asula, she feels valued and recognized, which boosts her morale. And the feedback has helped her grow in confidence and see herself as an asset. Because she knows where she stands and feels safe, she is engaged and open in communication, which contributes to a healthier team dynamic. So these are the points that Azura experienced demonstrate the impact of effective employee review.